Awesome Vegan Gal here, and I have an important topic to talk to you about today. It has to do with digestion, and it's from an article that I was reading, and I'm going to read it and expound upon it too because it's very important. It's called "We Are What We Digest." So, and for me, it's not only about what we digest, it's also about what we absorb and assimilate. And I want to just make another point before I read through the article, and it's funny when I think about the word digestion, okay? We also take in things, not necessarily food. So digesting, meaning if we take in words, if we think certain things, if we speak certain things, we're taking those things into our body, into our cells, and creating a type of energy too. So we have to be mindful of that it's also what we say, what we think, that can affect us. So that's very important. So the whole idea is to try to make everything more positive, more upbeat, more balanced. So let's go ahead and tell you more about this because there's a lot of good tips in this article. So food is an integral part of our daily lives. It nourishes and sustains us. It has the ability to bring us comfort, joy, and sometimes anxiety. Yeah, depending on what you eat. I would agree with that. Food presents us with important decisions to make. Which food should we eat? Which should we avoid? What quantity should we eat each day? How often? As we learn more about taking care of ourselves, we become increasingly selective about what we're willing to put into our bodies. And again, I also stress the point that it's not about the food too. It's also what we take in from when others speak to us too. So emotionally, how we're absorbing things. Like I say, it's also about the absorption and the assimilation. Foods that facilitate the digestion process are always a good choice. So we want to gear ourselves towards that to help us with our digestion of our food. Digestion is a breakdown of food into smaller pieces that can be more easily absorbed in the body. When food is put into the mouth, combined with saliva and chewed, the digestion process begins. Now, chewing is a very important factor, and I actually will have a link to my blog site where I have a testimonial of a chewing experience when I was studying macrobiotics years ago. And it's pretty profound and phenomenal how you can actually feel from when you chew your food really well. Saliva contains salivary amylase, an enzyme that begins the breakdown of starch in food. After traveling through the esophagus and into the stomach, the food is met by gastric juices, including hydrochloric acid and pepsin, which work to digest protein in the food. So digestion really begins in the mouth. If you don't chew your food and make it into liquid form, it's going to go in and it's not really going to do anything. So the digestion has to start here. So chewing is very important. It also, you're working your muscles a lot, so you want to keep those muscles activated. If you don't chew your food, then eventually your mouth, your jaw doesn't work so well either. That movement, that continual musculature that gets, when you open and close and you're chewing, you're continually working those muscles, so that's important. So contractions of the muscles along the stomach lining cause the food to mix with more digestive enzymes, breaking it down further. And then after an hour or two, the broken down food keeps moving until it mixes with enzymes from the pancreas and makes its way into the small intestine, where the majority of nutrients are absorbed into the body. So it has to go through a process of going down the esophagus into the stomach, and then therefore it continues to the pancreas, the small intestine, and that's where most of the nutrients are absorbed. The process of digestion involves many stages, and it can either be made easier or hindered depending on the food we choose to put into our body. So that's very important. So how can we help ourselves out with our digestion? A diet with plenty of fiber, magnesium, and vitamin C is helpful for digestion. So those three elements. And you can look up also online more about what are good sources, good plant food sources of those particular vitamins. So again, fiber, magnesium, vitamin C. So what are high fiber foods? High fiber foods are foods like fruit, vegetables, and whole grains. Fermented foods such as yogurt and sauerkraut, and herbs like peppermint and ginger are all digestive aids. So again, fruits, vegetables, whole grains, fermented foods, peppermint, and ginger. So those are all really good digestive aids, and those are high fiber foods. Now, what I want to stress about yogurt, I'm a vegan, so I wouldn't do regular yogurt. An idea for making yogurt would be something called coconut kefir, they call it, or kefir, Kefir. So you can try to Google that and see, because I believe you can make your own. The other thing I mentioned is sauerkraut. Now, sauerkraut is amazing, and you can make your own salt-free sauerkraut. I've actually done it, and I probably should do a video on how to do it. But in the meantime, I'm going to give you a link below this video on how to make it yourself from something I researched online too, and it came out really good. Just like store-bought sauerkraut, actually better, and no salt. Just using some water and some cabbage, or you can put in other vegetables too, and in about a week it'll be ready. And if you're in a warmer tropical climate, it's better because it needs warmth. And if not, then it might take longer. So if you're in a place where it's still kind of wintertime, you have that, what you may need to do is put it in the warmest place in your house, or cover it up with a lot of towels. That might work. I just use a jar that has a special lid that seals it, like you'd use for canning, but it's not a canning jar. It works really well. Okay, so the next thing, it would be magnesium. So the 3 things that are good for digestion. So we mentioned already fiber. So magnesium is found in leafy greens, nuts, and seeds, and increases the production of hydrochloric acid in the stomach. Now, hydrochloric acid is very important for digestion. So again, leafy greens, nuts, and seeds. And again, nuts and seeds, I'd say in small amounts. Seeds are okay, a little more, but nuts you just have to be careful with because of the high fat content, and it could affect digestion. And the other part of that is also how you do proper food combining. So you don't want to mix fruit with any kind of fat unless it's non-sweet fruit. Like if you did tomatoes with some seeds, that's okay, but you don't want to mix persimmon with pumpkin seeds. It just doesn't work well. Now the other part then we said is vitamin C. So citrus fruits and leafy greens contain vitamin C. So as you see, leafy greens are a really good component. They have the magnesium in it, they have the vitamin C, and citrus fruits as well. And these act as a natural laxative in the body and is therefore helpful for digestion. So that's very important. Grapefruit and bananas are foods that are welcomed by the body and aid in the digestion process also. So those are also good fruits. Now you want to be careful with citrus fruits because they can erode the enamel because they're acid. So it's better to, if you eat them, better to rinse your mouth out really quickly with water, swish some water around and spit it out so the acid doesn't stay on your teeth. Grapefruit is an excellent source of vitamin C. It also contains bioflavonoids that enhance the effectiveness of the vitamin C, so that's very important too. And the bioflavonoids are the part, like more the white part, of closer to the skin. That's where you get more of the bioflavonoids. To optimize its fiber content, which, it's funny, I just told you that and now I'm reading it. So, to optimize its fiber content, eat as much of the pith, which is the white substance located just beneath the fruit skin, as possible, along with the fruit's flesh. Grapefruit juice increases the flow of gastric juices necessary for digestion. Staying hydrated is crucial for proper digestion, and the high water content in grapefruit is another good reason to include it in diet. Again, but I still stress the point that if you're going to eat grapefruit, better to eat the fruit. They say the juice, but you can just eat the grapefruit. You're getting a lot of the juice. Grapefruit is very juicy. So again, once you're done, rinse your mouth out, swish a little water around, spit it out, and you're good. Another food to include in a healthy diet is the banana. Now, for me, bananas just don't work, so I personally don't eat bananas. But also, you must make sure you eat bananas when they're ripe. If they're unripened, they're not good for your body. They're not digestible because you have to make your body work harder. When you eat fruit that isn't ripe, that's really not good for you. So the bananas should have a very black skin on the outside and be very sweet. They shouldn't taste starchy at all. So why is bananas good? It's a good source, great source of fiber and potassium. Bananas contain vitamin C and magnesium as well. So bananas really have all the components for digestion. But again, don't mix your fruit with your fat. I always say have the fruit first. Eat your dessert first. So eat your fruit first because fruit digests much quicker than your other food. The fiber in bananas helps absorb toxins and eliminate waste from the body. Easily digested on their own, they are a good food choice for a weak or upset stomach. Bananas contain a prebiotic that helps with digestion by feeding beneficial probiotic bacteria in the digestive tract. So prebiotic is prior, pre is before, and so what it is it helps to feed the probiotics in the tract, so that's also good. Less ripe bananas help relieve constipation and provide lasting energy, while riper bananas help with diarrhea and provide quick energy. Again, I'm not really a fan of the less ripe bananas, even though it say it helps. But, you know, if they're closer, you wouldn't want them ever to have any green on them, of course. So they should maybe have some brown or black, but not completely. So that might be okay. Unlike most fruits and vegetables, bananas' flavor is best when they are picked green before ripening. To expedite the ripening process, once you've gotten them home, you can put unripened bananas in a brown bag or dark cupboard. They'll be ready within a couple of days, so don't leave them for too long. Bananas can be preserved after they ripen by storing them in the refrigerator. Although the peel will become brown and look bruised, the fruit inside will be fine for at least a few days. So that's fine too if you are going to eat bananas and you want to keep a lot in the house. Also, they have more calories, if you're looking for something more calorically dense to eat. So always have some on hand, but again, you should pick them. They say to buy them when they're a little green, and then they will ripen. Yes, you put them in the paper bag, they will. And if you want to expedite the process even more, you can put a ripened fruit in there. That will help. So this is very important. So digestion, so I mentioned to you a bunch of things that are really good for digestion. Now, instead of taking an actual supplement as a probiotic, you can get it from the food. That's why I say it's really good. You can make sauerkraut, or you can make the coconut kefir. Those are options. And the sauerkraut is so easy to make and so inexpensive compared to the way you buy it in the store, and a lot of it is full of salt and some other chemicals. You just buy a head of cabbage. I prefer purple cabbage. I really like purple cabbage. So I was buying some in a store, and they were also doing it without salt, and I was paying $10 for like a pound, like a jar. I think it was like 16 ounces. So now I make like 4 or 5 pounds or something with the cabbage, and all it cost me was I had to buy a jar for like $4 or $5. And I'll include a link as well to, I got a jar at Walmart, and not everyone might be a fan of Walmart, but they have a really good jar with a lid that seals with a rubber. It has a rubber piece on the inside, and it closes down with a clamp, and it works really well. And in the future, maybe I will do a video to show you how to make the sauerkraut. It's really not that difficult, but I will include the link to the do-it-yourself one that I found on a website. And I hope this helps you, because, yeah, digestion is important, but don't forget, it's not only the food. We can also be unhealthy because we digest or absorb or assimilate and take in other things that are toxic for us. Negative thoughts, negative words, or taking in from someone else. If they say something to us and we let it affect us, that's also going to toxify our body. So we have to consider that also as well. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and also give me a thumbs up if you like my videos. And if you have any questions or comments, please do leave them below, and any other suggestions for videos. I would always appreciate any input. And thanks for watching. And this is the Awesome Vegan Gal.